Welcome back to Vigor. I had a little bit of extra time and wasn't sure what to do with it, and I realized I've never actually streamed the Elimination game mode. So let's give that a try. I've streamed shootouts before, I'm pretty sure, and I've streamed encounters, which is sort of the core gameplay. But Elimination is different. It is a very team-based event, and really, depending on the makeup of the teams that you get, you often are either... Sometimes I'll find really nice, evenly matched teams, and it'll be really sort of a nail-biter who's going to win. A lot of the time, though, it's just one team completely smoking the other team. And so I'm not sure what kind of match I'm going to get into today. Hopefully it's one that'll be a little bit more interesting than either me getting stomped or me doing the stomping. Usually it's not me personally doing the stomping. Usually I'm just stomping adjacent. In the meantime, we're going to strangle some rats around my shelter while we wait for... Oh! While we wait for the matchmaking to kick in. All right. Gonna ready up. How is the audio for you folks? Can you sort of hear what's going on in the UI? So here we can score boost. If I wanted to spend some hard currency, I could boost the score of my team so that whether we win or lose, we get better prizes for it. You know, actually, I've got a little bit. Yeah, Let's buy a couple of score boosts. So we're going to get 10% more score, which hopefully will edge us up a little bit higher and get us a few more prizes. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. Sometimes if you buy a score boost, other people will bandwagon and they'll start buying score boosts of their own. It looks like I didn't kick that off today, but one time I actually saw an encounter get started where like a bunch of whales were all like egging each other on, and they ended up like boosting the loot up to like 900%, which was just crazy. I just went to one place, filled up my inventory, and immediately left, which I guess was what they were buying, was, you know, me being gone. Okay, so Elimination, you're trying to fight until everyone's dead, and failing that, you're trying to grab an objective. And they're doing everything they can to try to make sure that the match ends at some point. So you choose a loadout. There's basically 5 loadouts and 5 players on your team. So everyone gets to choose each loadout one unless they've bought themselves tickets that they can use to grab loadouts out of turn. And then we all drop in to one side of the map. The enemy is on the other side of the map. And you can see on my little compass at the top that there is a white flag. That white flag marks where the objective will eventually be. So we can all orient ourselves on it. Oh, what's this guy doing? This guy's my responsibility. Okay, I'll tell my team that there's a guy over here. There's 2 of us and 3 of them, but they're all really wounded. Oh, crap. It's just down to me. Crap. Okay, got him. Yes! Woo! Okay. Coming in clutch. Okay, so now I'm going to get a garbage loadout. So basically, the last loadout you used, you can't use in the next round unless you've paid for it. So now I get to just use a Thompson, which is not as exciting. So I really, for some reason, I gravitate on this particular map. Each of the maps that supports Elimination has actually multiple settings where you can actually have these matches. So this particular setting here in Fiska Fabrique. Oh, there's a guy up there. I've damaged him insufficiently. So oh. Ah! Okay, do I have heals? Yes, I do have heals. You can't use heals while lying on the ground. You have to at least be crouching to use heals. Okay. My team is doing pretty well. Can I actually... No. I think that guy's box fell in the water. There's one jerk left. Okay, we're all... Oh, they found him. Yeah, check that out. Shutout. I'm on the stomping team. Okay, so I hate shotguns so much, but it's what was available. So I might actually just switch and try to use a revolver instead. So yeah, for some reason on this map, I just really like this rocky side. I'm not sure why it is. It just feels more like my speed. So if somebody else goes this way, I end up having a fight with them over the rocks. If no one goes this way, then I end up being behind enemy lines. And both are fun outcomes for me. Except it's really easy to get tangled up in here. Oh, crap. We're down to me. That's not good. Most of the fighting was on that side. Yeah, they're running over to the origin point. I can see that guy, but I don't think I can kill him from here. Oh, I might have to try. Okay, it's the objective phase. I've got less health than him, so I'm the one who has to claim the objective or kill him if I want not to everything to suck. So he knows he can just wait me out because his health is higher, which means, so basically whoever has the higher health wins at the end if the objective is not got. Yes! Yes! And then I get the garbage loadout. At the end. The one at the left is always the garbage. All right. Well, that was fun. And I've actually... So, for a while, the seasonal challenges in this game were broken. And so you would earn them and then not get credit for them, and then earn them again and not get credit for them. Oh, I hate serpentine guys. There's some people where the moment that you see them, they start wiggling back and forth so you can't shoot them. And I'm like, yeah, that's effective in the game, but also it's a very dorky way to play. And I just don't like it, and I don't enjoy it. So it annoys me when people do it. Because, yeah, I mean, you saw it. That was effective. I could not land enough shots on that person to take them out. Come on, Monso. Oh, no. Behind you, Monso. Behind you. Oh, no. That's fine. We can take a loss. It's okay. Anyway, as I was saying, the seasonal challenges were busted. And so that one challenge you saw me complete where everyone is dead except you on your team. There are 3 enemies left, and then you still win. I actually earned that in an earlier round. But because the seasonal challenges were broken, I didn't get credit. I was like, oh no, I'm never going to get credit for this. Like, it seemed like such an unlikely event. I think I saw somebody's head poking around over here. I'm not... Oh, yep, they're right there. Or are they? Oh! Oh, she got a nice shot off on me. Dang. So yeah, so I wasn't sure I was ever going to get that, I didn't think I was ever going to get that thing again. Get that challenge again. So the fact that I just got it on the air, feeling pretty good. By the way, I don't know how people get on this roof. This was actually, like, a problem that I have a lot in this game. Is it, like, I will see people on a particular rooftop, and I will have no idea how they got there, but I never see them go up. I just see them after they're there, usually after they kill me. Like in some of the shootouts that I've been in, like there's in Sogbrook, there are 3 rooftops that you can get onto, and 2 of them I was able to figure out pretty quickly how to get onto. But the third one took me for freaking ever to figure out how it was done. And when I finally figured it out, man, these guys are so grabby. They just all grab the fancy... Like, you know what? I've been the one who came in clutch at the end of, like, 2 of these rounds. And I keep getting the garbage loadouts. Whatever. It's fine. I'll live. But yeah, I did finally figure out how to get on top of the third rooftop. But it just took me forever because I kept getting killed by people who were up there. And, like... One thing I would do is I would try to, like, follow the person. Like, the person who killed me, I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to keep following you. Whenever I die... Got him. All right. I'm like, whenever I die, I'm just going to follow this guy to see if I can catch him getting up on a rooftop. And eventually I actually ended up figuring out on my own. Oh, rooftop. Oh, sorry. I was so worried about trying to mark the spot that the guy was on. I didn't actually shoot properly at the guy. I just was shooting right over his head. So when I leave those marks, by the way, everybody can see them. Oh, there we go. Well, if they hadn't gotten him, I would have.
Yeah.
There we go! So each of our score gets tabulated first. While we celebrate. And we see what everybody else did. And then at the very end, my score enhancement gets figured in, which will probably not give us very much. Oh, I just wasted my money. We didn't get anything extra. Well, I thought I was going to goad other people into joining in, but apparently they don't want to get 2 crates. So now it has delivered our elimination crate. Oh, Draven. Draven did better than me? Dang, I thought that I was going to be the top player. Oh, well, that's totally fine. Totally fine. We'll live. Okay, well that was a lot of fun, right? So, so actually that was my first elimination crate this week. So, people have different ways of sort of managing their crates. Last time we talked to La Coalición, he was recommending holding onto crates as long as you can, because a lot of the crates give you big doses of experience. And if you can save them up, you can use them at key times to, like, push yourself ahead in battle passes and things like that. What I tend to do, just because I actually just really like opening up 1,000,000 crates at once, and so I'll usually just pile up my crates and open them up once a week. Basically, for the thing that I use as my clock, and this is just the way I play, this is a dumb, silly thing that I do, but the thing I use as my clock is the food donation. So you can see here that you donate 10,000 food, up to 10,000 food, and you'll get different crates for, depending on how much you've donated. And then right now in 1 day, 23 hours and 21 minutes, you can see at the very top of the screen up there, they're going to award me all of these crates and start over, and I can submit more food. So I've already got almost 9,000 food, so I'm ready to go pretty much the next time that the food floodgates open up. And so in 2 days, effectively, I'm going to get that big pile of crates, and when I get that big pile of crates, that's when I'm going to go through and actually open up all of my crates. So right now, I'm just trying to pile up as many as I can to make that moment as exciting as possible. That was the first elimination crate that I've gotten. That's typically you can expect if your team performs really well, you can expect to get an elimination crate probably from playing elimination. You can get more if you're doing exceptionally well and you're doing score boosts. And similarly, if you win a shootout, you get a shootout crate. But if there's a bunch of score boosts, you can actually get 2 shootout crates, or a shootout crate and another crate, or something like that. Special issue crates, that's what you get for doing your maximum food donation, and a few other things. And then a lot of these other crates are just like, these are the backup crates you get as like prizes if, in shootouts and elimination, if you don't get the full, if you're not the winner. Or the other place they come from is challenges. When you complete a challenge, you can see here, I got a weapon crate for my triple kill. I got, for coming in clutch, I got a military grade crate and a bunch of other stuff. So I'll claim these rewards, which include experience. I don't think... Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I've actually rolled over my legacy battle pass, so I've got a new gas mask I can put on, but I like my military grade beard, so I'm not going to put on that gas mask. That's another place you can get crates, and of course you get crates from encounters. You get the airdrop crate, but it's kind of funny, like, it's not really different, but in when you're playing shootouts and elimination, you know, the top player, the winner, tends to get this really fancy crate that's at the top, this gold tier crates, right? And then everyone else gets something less than that. You know, the second player in a shootout typically gets a resource crate, then you get weapon crates, and you get like uncommon and common crates below that. And similarly, you know, with elimination, the winning team usually gets an elimination crate, maybe something less if it's more of a close game. If they use a bunch of score boosters, they can get even higher than that. But then, you know, the losing team will get something less than that, something in the bottom tier. But those game modes just hand out pretty fancy crates at a regular rate. But the encounter, the core game mode, the encounters, they give out a common crate, which is the lowest tier, which gives you the least exciting stuff. And so the entire encounter match is oriented around the arrival of this important, you know, airdrop. This has got this crate in it, but it's the least exciting reward, at least on the scale of crates. And yet people can invest money in making that crate more powerful, but the way that the encounters work, you know, they always scatter a bunch of interesting, different, valuable prizes across the map. And one of them is the supply drop, but the rest of them are also really cool and valuable. And so a lot of times, you know, a lot of players will just not be interested in the supply drop at all. They'll just go and get other things and they won't worry about it. And actually, the fact that the supply drop is so risky, like only one person can get it, there's no really replacing it. There isn't a, you know, there's I guess there's a red chest, which also you can't really predict where it's going to be, but there's a red chest. And so basically there's these 2 crates out there you can get. But I never really, very few people ever actually upgrade the spend money to upgrade the crate, because there's such a low chance of you being the one that gets it. People tend to camp the crate. They'll get a nice sniper post nearby. They won't even want the crate. They just want to snipe whoever goes after the crate, because it's such a predictable place that a person wants to be. So the crate is so high risk, just nobody wants to invest in it as a reward. Whereas the crates that you get out of eliminations and shootouts, investing in upping the reward ante for those games is great, because people will start getting scads of amazing crates from having played those modes, and there'll be much better rewards, and they're much more guaranteed. You are, like, if you play a shootout, you have to be at the bottom not to get a crate. You'll get something if you perform okay at all. And if somebody's been bumping up the score, you know, bumping up the loot quality, you're going to get something fancy. And so the fact that you just kind of fairly easily in a shootout can get a better crate than you can get by doing the main thing that an encounter centers around feels weird and out of balance to me. It makes me wish that, like, I don't know, it feels like at least an uncommon crate should be what's available just by default in an encounter. Is how it feels to me as a player, but who knows. Oh, hey, Fallen Actual. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me. Fallen Actual is someone who has apparently been watching my YouTube videos but has never actually caught me live. Well, it's good to have you here in the chat. And thank you for the compliments to my channel. I really appreciate it. So Cogs is like, Crate Manager 2022, yawn. Well, yeah, okay, so you're bored by this, but you got to realize, like, thinking about how rewarded people feel for different, you know, risks that they take and different prizes that they get is actually a pretty core part of my job. Even if, you know, I'm working in a game that does not have explicit, like, loot crates like this, like, you know, State of Decay does not have this mechanic. State of Decay does have the problem to solve of you go out to try to risk something, and if you come back empty-handed, you feel like garbage. And, you know, trying to figure out how to make sure that the player feels rewarded, like all the retuning that Brian and I did on the loot distribution to try to make it so that, because this was Brian's idea and it was a great idea, making it so that instead of every house having a fairly equivalent amount of loot in it, we centrifuged it so that most houses have a very small amount of loot that's easy to fully collect in one backpack's worth of you know, gear, even taking multiple stops and before you filled your backpack in the trunk of your car. While other houses have so much in them that you can't fill a backpack, but you just feel really special for having found that bonanza of a house. Realizing that sort of the feeling of collecting a lot of stuff and scouring a bunch of houses and still being able to go home with a big full backpack, that feels good, and also encountering a bonanza that's so great you can't take it home also feels good. It was that middle road where it's like you'd go to one house, kind of fill up your backpack, and be like, well, this is disappointing, I have to go home now. that felt kind of like garbage. And so like trying to sort of figure out like what reward versus what investment is going to make the player feel good. Get it? Because there's multiple sweet spots that you can find. And trying to identify where those sweet spots are and understand on a gut level what feels good to receive in exchange for what investment, that is a thing that I have to figure out. So I'm sorry if it's boring for you, Cogs, but for me, this is the fascinating thing of playing games like this, is figuring out, like, through my own psychology and also listening to other people, like, what feels right as a reward for a given investment. So Zedric von Kotmel says, I prefer shipping containers in a fortified formation, a container fort, one might say. Yeah. Sorry, when you brought that up, oh yeah, so you talk about when Cogs was talking about crate manager, like, yes, I would like to build them into a container fort. That's how I'll manage my crates. I thought you were actually talking about Vigor, which has got a big shipping crate that sort of is sitting in the middle of the map, where you have to like get onto it and decode 3 locks while you're vulnerable to anyone from the outside shooting you, and then try to get a bunch of like weapons and stuff out of it. That's actually one of my favorite ones to get, just because it feels so hair-raising the entire time you're trying to unlock this crate. And half the time I get killed trying to do it, but I kind of don't care. It's just it's a fun hair-raising adventure, and when it does work, you get a lot of fancy stuff and it feels good. Anyway, okay, so before I started the session, I was saying I should probably go, so now I should definitely go. But thank you all for sticking with me. I'm so glad that I had a good elimination match, because, I mean, so many of the ones I get into, you know, I'm on a team that is just hopelessly outmatched against the other team, and you just get to watch me die again and again. So the fact you actually got to watch me not only be on a team that won, but be on a team that was balanced well enough, that both teams were balanced well enough with my skill level, that it wasn't a guarantee that we were going to win and I was going to be actually important to the outcome, which is not always the case. A lot of the time I show up in one of these elimination games and it's 2 very high skill, high powered teams, and I'm just the one who's standing there like, I don't even know where I am on this map. So yeah, this went surprisingly well, so I'm happy about it. There's a subscribe button. These are going to be videos that you can click on, and the next time I stream Vigor, I'm going to stick that video right there. And Fallen Actual, you got to see the blank version of this.